Hello there, you're watching All 24 News World News Program. To the headlines. Diplomatic and economic cooperation deepens between Algeria and Italy as Algiers reaffirms its commitment to fostering a robust investment climate. Two Palestinians are killed in Rafah amid escalating aggression. Meanwhile, heavy attacks on Jenin leave dozens dead and thousands displaced. Also on news tonight, critiques warn of Morocco becoming a Zionist foothold, while the boycott movement urges mass mobilization against normalization. Welcome back to the details. First off, in our news, on Monday in Algiers, President Abdelmajid Tebboune hosted Italy's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani, along with his delegation. Joined by senior Algerian officials, the talks zeroed in on bilateral cooperation, a cornerstone of their enduring friendship. Tajani hailed the robust ties and expressed confidence that their collaboration will only flourish further.
I am delighted to be in Algiers for the first time since my appointment, and I extend my sincere thanks to President Abdelmajid Tebboune for his warm and gracious welcome. Our meetings have been productive, including my discussion with Algerian Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf. Algeria and Italy share strong ties, and we are committed to further strengthening them. Our partnership spans political and economic cooperation, as well as cultural exchanges. We are particularly keen to support the teaching of the Italian language in Algeria and to welcome more Algerian students to Italian universities.
Still, Antonio Tajani revealed that Italy will host the 5+5 ministerial meeting, a strategic gathering aimed at bolstering regional efforts to tackle illegal immigration and human trafficking. With security and stability at stake, the initiative underscores a shared commitment to turning the tide on these pressing challenges. Let's take a listen again.
Nous avons parlé de la stabilité de la Méditerranée et des relations entre nos deux pays.
We discussed stability in the Mediterranean region and the importance of cooperation between our two countries in combating human trafficking. We have agreed to organize a bilateral meeting between our governments in Italy, with the date to be determined later. I also informed the Foreign Minister that Italy will be hosting a 5+5 Mediterranean ministerial meeting in the near future.
On a similar note, Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani reaffirmed the steady progress of economic ties between Algeria and Italy, emphasizing Rome's keen interest in ramping up investments. With both nations eyeing new opportunities, the partnership seems set to scale new heights.
Nous avons discuté sur la façon de coopérer dans tous les différents domaines.
Our discussions also covered various aspects of economic cooperation, particularly in energy, infrastructure, construction and agribusiness. Italy is ready to invest further in Algeria and to contribute our technical expertise to support these sectors.
On Monday, Algerian Minister of State and Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf sat down with his Italian counterpart Antonio Tajani as part of the latter's official visit to Algiers. The two diplomats took stock of regional and global affairs, exchanging views on key developments in the Mediterranean, the Sahel-Saharan region and the Middle East. Both ministers praised the growing momentum in bilateral ties, marked by high-level visits and ongoing consultations. In an expanded working session with senior officials, they assessed progress in political, economic, and humanitarian cooperation, reaffirming their commitment to deepening the partnership. Algerian Energy and Mines Minister Mohamed Arqab called on Italian companies to tap into Algeria's promising investment landscape. Addressing the Algerian-Italian Business Forum in Algiers on Monday, he underscored partnership development as a cornerstone of Algeria's economic vision, inviting Italian firms to be part of its growth story.
The former Italian Republic, with which we share a historical relationship, is one of Algeria's most important partners, both in terms of investment volume and trade exchange. The field remains open for partnership. opportunities for Italian business people in all sectors. Today's forum represents a new opportunity for economic operators from both countries to build bridges of communication with the aim of strengthening partnership in areas of mutual interest. I'm confident that Italian companies, in coordination with their partners in Algeria, will be able to seize real opportunities to launch businesses in the Algerian market.
On a similar note, Algerian Energy Minister Mohamed Arqab and Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani reinforced economic and energy ties, vowing to advance joint projects and deepen strategic dialogue. They also discussed Italy's MATE plan, with Algeria backing its role in regional integration. Tajani reaffirmed Algeria's key role as Europe's gas supplier, while eyeing opportunities in renewables and green hydrogen. Later, Arqab met with Enai's Guido Brusco to discuss Algeria's investment climate, with Enai reaffirming its commitment to expanding cooperation with Sonatrach in hydrocarbons, gas, and clean energy. In a display of diplomatic synergy, Algerian Prime Minister Nadir Al-Arbawi and his Mauritanian counterpart Mokhtar Waldejei took stock of their nation's ever-deepening ties. Their talks zeroed in on key infrastructure projects and regional integration. Beyond economics, the two leaders cast a keen eye on pressing global affairs, with the Palestinian cause taking center stage. Both hailed the steadfast bond between Algiers and Nouakchott, reaffirming their commitment to a partnership that stands the test of time. Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune will forego Tuesday's emergency Arab summit on Palestine, entrusting Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf to represent Algeria in Cairo. Citing an informed source, the Algerian news agency attributed the decision to shortcomings in the summit's preparations, reportedly steered by a select few Arab nations without wider consultation. Similarly, Tunisian President Kais Saied has tasked Foreign Minister Mohamed Ali Nafti with leading Tunisia's delegation at Tuesday's Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo. The Foreign Ministry announced Tunisia is set to reaffirm its steadfast support for Palestinian rights, calling for a fully sovereign Palestinian state with Al-Quds as its capital. Shifting focus to Gaza's updates on the ground, 2 Palestinians have been killed after Zionist occupation forces opened fire in Rafah. Medical sources at the European hospital confirmed their bodies had arrived in southern Gaza, according to a Palestinian Information Center. This latest attack underscores ongoing Zionist violations of the fragile truce, which hangs by a thread as the occupation continues to renege on its commitments. Salman Sir reports.
The promise of a ceasefire was meant to bring a fragile calm, a moment to grieve, to heal. Instead, the Zionist entity has turned it into an illusion. In Rafah, 2 more lives were stolen, despite the supposed truce. The ink of the agreement has barely dried, yet violations pile up, with the occupation refusing to commit to the second phase of the deal.
The occupation targets civilians, even in so-called security zones, areas that are supposed to be protected under signed agreements. These zones are right next to Rafah's largest hospital, the Emirati Field Hospital. Honestly, we don't even know what to say in the face of such blatant violations of these agreements.
The attacks are systematic. MWC sees 3 wounded. Jabalia comes under fire, and drones cast ominous shadows over Gaza skies, a strategy of fear calculated, relentless.
The occupation and its backers are constantly lying in wait for the Palestinian people. As for the weapons sent by the United States to Israel, they're part of an agreement between the occupation and the US. It's no surprise to see these deals supplying massive amounts of weapons that are killing Palestinians. This is what's undermining the ceasefire, and we call for strengthening the truce as much as possible.
But numbers tell the real story. 116 Palestinians martyred, 490 wounded since the truce began. For Netanyahu, it's not about peace, it's about power. expansion, annexation. Meanwhile, Hamas insists on the next step, a complete Zionist withdrawal and an end to the war. But with each bullet fired, each life lost, the question lingers, was this ceasefire ever meant to hold?
Still with Gaza's related news, the Zionist occupation has bolstered its military presence near the Rafah border along the Salah ad-Din axis in southern Gaza. Reuters reports that forces redeployed tanks and vehicles along the Egyptian border shortly after blocking humanitarian aid. Meanwhile, Israeli occupation helicopters struck the Al-Mawasi area northwest of Khan Yunis, leaving 3 Palestinians wounded, according to Palestinian media. The Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza reports 5 more Palestinians killed, 21 injured, and the bodies of 4 martyrs recovered in the past 48 hours. In its latest update on the Zionist aggression, the ministry confirms that the death toll has soared to 48,397 martyrs, with 111,824 wounded since October 7, 2023. The White House has reaffirmed its support for the Zionist occupation's actions, including blocking aid to Gaza. U.S. National Security Council spokesman Brian Hughes stated that the Trump administration stands behind all measures taken after Hamas rejected Witkoff's ceasefire proposal. Meanwhile, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation strongly condemned the move, calling it a blatant violation of international law, the Fourth Geneva Convention, and UN resolutions. It denounced the blockade as a collective punishment and a crime against humanity, urging the international community to take action and ensure the free flow of humanitarian aid to the Strip. At least 6 Zionists were injured in a suicide operation in Haifa. One attacker, a Druze with German citizenship, was killed, while another from the 1948 territories was killed by the occupation forces. The number of wounded may rise, with 2 in critical condition. Hamas described the attack as a natural response to the Zionist crimes, calling for continued resistance against the ongoing aggression in Gaza, the West Bank, and Al-Quds. The Zionist occupation's assault on Jenin and its camp has stretched into its 42nd day, leaving 27 Palestinians killed, dozens wounded, and nearly 20,000 displaced. According to the Palestinian news agency, occupation forces maintain a tight blockade, deploying bulldozers and military vehicles while restricting access to Jenin Hospital. The Jenin Camp Media Committee reports that 90% of residents have been forcibly displaced, with around 500 homes and facilities destroyed, plunging the camp into a dire humanitarian crisis marked by severe shortages of water, electricity, food, and essential supplies. In Jabalia, northern Gaza, Palestinians endure mounting hardship as the Zionist occupation tightens its blockade on humanitarian aid. Yet, even amid these dire conditions, especially during Ramadan, the resilience remains unshaken. Sofian Katuri reports now.
As the sun sets over Jabalia, a Palestinian family gathers not around a table, but on a torn-out carpet amid the rubble of what was once their home. Their iftar is a shadow of a meal mere scraps, far from enough silence hunger, just enough to endure. Across Gaza, desperation deepens. The Zionist occupation tightens its grip, blocking vital humanitarian aid, turning starvation into a weapon.
If aid doesn't reach Gaza, the famine will return, perhaps even worse than before. Our children starve before our eyes, powerless to do anything to save them.
For Ayub and thousands like him, survival is a daily battle one fought against hunger, fear, and the relentless echoes of genocide.
We've learned from experience that the occupation never honors its promises or agreements, so it's no surprise that they are violating yet another truce. But let me be clear, even if we have to eat sand, we will never surrender or bow to them.
Parents watch helplessly as their children bear the brunt of deprivation, their anguish growing with each passing day.
Honestly, since the war began, they've been trying to starve us. People are terrified of dying from hunger because there is no aid, no food, and terrified of the war and death returning. Haven't enough people suffered? Haven't they already killed 50,000 people, maybe 60,000 martyrs?
Despite everything, Ayoub's family gathers for iftar, refusing to let war steal their faith. A simple yet defiant act proof that even in the darkest times, the spirit of Ramadan, survival of Palestine endures.
Moving on to Morocco now. Hundreds of Moroccans took to the streets of Marrakesh from Sunday night to Monday, protesting the Makhzen's continued normalization with the Zionist entity. Organized by the Moroccan Front to support Palestine and oppose normalization, demonstrators condemned Arab leaders back in normalization, denounced Zionist aggression, and rejected forced displacement plans in Gaza and the West Bank. Ahmed Wahman, head of the Moroccan Observatory Against Normalization, warned that Morocco could face international prosecution for its role in the war of extermination in the Strip. In an interview with a local channel, he criticized the kingdom's deepening ties with the Zionist entity, pointing to its reception and supplying of warships used in attacks on Palestinians and Lebanese. He also cautioned against growing Zionist influence in Morocco, describing it as a dangerous transformation into the so-called Holy Kingdom for Zionists. The Moroccan branch of the boycott movement against the Zionist entity accused the Makhzen and other normalizing regimes of legitimizing the occupation. In a statement on Monday, the movement stressed that normalization has become a tool enabling the occupation's crimes against Palestinians. It urged Moroccans to intensify efforts to end normalization and cancel all agreements, especially military pacts between the Makhzen and the Zionist entity. Shifting focus to Algeria. During Ramadan, Algeria witnesses a wave of generosity and with charitable initiatives multiplying to support the needy and provide iftar meals for the fasting. At the heart of this effort is the Algerian Food Bank, now in its 5th year, spearheading a major solidarity campaign. With a mission to reach 10,000 families, volunteers are working tirelessly to deliver food parcels across neighborhoods and remote villages. More on this story with Zahar Farjani now.
As the holy month of Ramadan unfolds, so does a powerful tradition of generosity. Across Algeria, charitable initiatives are in full swing, with volunteers racing against time to ensure that struggling families have food on their tables.
Today, as part of the Ramadan Solidarity campaign of the Algerian Food Bank, just like every year, the 13th edition of this initiative is underway. This project involves collecting food supplies and then distributing them to families in need across the entire national territory. In coordination with local associations at the national level, the goal for this year, God willing, is to reach 10,000 families and provide each of them with this food package throughout the month of Ramadan, God willing.
At the heart of this mission is the Algerian Food Bank campaign, an initiative led by the Sidra Association. In a bustling courtyard in Algiers, a well-oiled machine of volunteers springs into action, some sorting food, others packing boxes, all working towards a single goal, delivering 10,000 food parcels to families in need. Among them, young men and women from all walks of life have rolled up their sleeves, driven by a sense of duty and compassion.
I came to give my time and help people because no one can do this work alone without support. We must all work together to help those in need and get to know new people.
Today we are here to help people in need, so we can provide them the food, the product they need to eat, to spend the Ramadan, the month of blessing. And yes, so this is why we are given our time, especially that it is the first day of Ramadan, and we're here to help people in need, to give them all the product they need during this blessed month.
Now in its 13th edition, the campaign has touched tens of thousands of lives, offering not just meals, but a message of solidarity. In neighborhoods and villages across the country, the spirit of community and kindness shines through, proving once again that when Algerians come together, no one is left behind.
To a different matter now, Huawei is making waves at the MWC Barcelona 2025, showcasing groundbreaking innovations in 5.5G, AI, and sustainable technology. From next-gen connectivity to futuristic smart devices, the tech giant is paving the way for a digital revolution. More on this story by Usama Ayadi, narrated by Yasin Urkti.
Barcelona's Mobile World Congress, MWC 2025, has set the stage for a global showcase of cutting-edge technology, and Huawei is making waves with its latest breakthroughs in connectivity and digital transformation.
Huawei are here with a new topic, with a new era for intelligence artificial. The intelligent artificial era in Algeria, recently we published our strategy, and now we need the implementation for this strategy, and such kind of big events are a great opportunity to reduce the gap for the latest technologies.
Leading the charge, Huawei introduced 5.5G technology, promising blazing fast speeds, ultra-low latency and seamless connectivity, a game-changer for industries and consumers alike. From AI-driven smart cities to autonomous vehicles and cloud computing, the tech giant is pushing the boundaries of innovation.
I believe that this event is quite good opportunities, especially if we consider Algeria's situation and Algeria's current plans for developing the ICT and developing the digital transformation. So such event could be a very good opportunity for Algerian companies, operators and all ICT players to know what is going on in the ICT market and how to develop and close the gap in order to achieve the target for a digital transformation in Algeria.
Stealing the spotlight was Huawei's latest foldable smartphone, boasting sleek design and top-tier performance, seamlessly integrated into its expanding ecosystem of wearables and IoT devices. But it's not just about speed and style. Huawei also reinforced its commitment to sustainability, unveiling ambitious plans to slash carbon emissions and roll out energy-efficient telecom solutions.
We have many scenarios like in the OTAs, loading, and also the warehouse wireless, and also some optic solution we can provide to help the customer to improve the efficiency and lower the cost.
Despite global challenges, Huawei's bold presence at MWC 2025 cements its position as a tech powerhouse, leveraging the event to forge key partnerships and shape the future of the digital world.
And finally, to a lighter note, at the MWC Barcelona still, Algerie Télécom secured the iDate Award for the best practices in domestic broadband development, reaffirming its drive for a high-tech, eco-friendly digital future. CEO Adel Bentoumi received the honor at the Green All Optical Network 2025 Forum with Minister Sid Ali Zarouki in attendance. Bentoumi called the award a tribute to innovation and sustainability, highlighting Algerie Télécom's role in shaping Algeria's digital landscape.
على هامش المؤتمر العالمي للهاتف المحمول.
On the sidelines of the Mobile World Congress, which is being held today in Barcelona, Algeria Telecom received the Best Practices Award in the development of home broadband FTTH technology. This prestigious award honors the pioneering efforts and solutions in the field of fiber optic networks.
And that wraps up our news program for tonight. For more updates, you can always check our social media platforms. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.